Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Campus Care Ed Talks. I, Sakshi, host of the afternoon, would like to welcome you all. As you know, Ed Talk is a platform where educators and leaders come on board and express their viewpoints related to a particular topic. And today we have with us Mrs. Hazel Bhardwaj, Director, St. Angels Global School, Gurgaon. A very warm welcome to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
So good to have you here, ma'am.
Yes, I also reciprocate the same emotion. I'm also very glad to be a part of this seminar today.
Absolutely, ma'am. And to ma'am, start off with the session, the very first thing that I would like to put it across to you is, do you think internships should be a part of the school curriculum? And how can students learn from internships?
Yes, definitely. Your question, I agree with the question completely. Internships should definitely be a part of the school curriculum. Let me first define the word internship, what it actually means, because different people have different notions about internship. Internship means a period of time during which a student or a newly qualified professional or a recent graduate or a postgraduate person gets a practical experience in the job. Whatever course the student has done or whatever the graduate has, the degree they have procured, they would like to go in for a job. So before doing the job, they do a work experience for a particular period of time to gain the practicalities and the know-hows in the real world and apply the knowledge in the real world. So this is the definition by and large of internship. Now, if we go with the NEP 2020 that was introduced 2 years back, we had long debates and discussions, and educators from all over the country were debating on it, giving their inputs, the pros and cons. If you go by that as well, the entire education policy also is in favor of this connotation that yes, internship should be a part of the curriculum, not per se internship, but some work experience a student should have. For example, I'm giving a very, very general example, which is very common in the United States as well as in the European nations and the Baltic nations, the Swald nations, the Nordic nations. There, the students they go in for summer internships during the period in which they are having the vacations. They go for jobs. For example, let us go with a newspaper, a publication. So students can join a publication and get the work experience, literary work experience, as to how the functioning of printing a newspaper goes, uh, how the articles are written, how the editing is done, how it goes into the print, and how the office works behind putting a whole 15-page newspaper or probably a publication, magazine publication. If a student is interested in artistic or fine arts, they can go in for magazines like Outlook or other magazines where they can go in with the art department or the department that puts together the profile of the magazine, the front page cover, the art part of the magazine. So that is how students can go in for a month or two with publications and gain some experience, practical experience. So how it will help them is whatever English they learn in the subject English, they learn in the subject art, they can put it across that knowledge in that internship. Similarly, if a student is good in maths, they can go in for some accountancy firm, probably a month or two, they can learn the dynamics of how an accountancy firm works. So this is what I believe is a very small general example of how the students can go in for internships, and the parents should definitely encourage how the existing culture in our country for school students that I would like to mention.
Absolutely,
So
ma'am.
that should change. And now we see that the parents are also, by and large, across the country, we have parents who are both the parents. are professionals. Now the times have changed. So definitely the workings of the professional life, how the corporates are working, how the job culture, basically how the white collar culture of our country works. So the students should get a prerequisite knowledge, a basic knowledge from the schooling part itself.
Absolutely, ma'am. So, ma'am, what do
Yes.
you think encouraging students to intern can help them utilizing the education received in school?
Yes, yes, definitely. So I just gave you the example of learning the subject English. I mean, if you see, we have basic subjects in our. I'm just talking about CBSC boards because that is what I'm well versed with. I don't know about the IB or the ICSE. Probably they are also of the same nature, but a similar nature. But the basic subjects that the children have in school are maths, English, social sciences, science, Hindi, and additional languages like Sanskrit, French, German. So, how to apply those learnings of that subject in practical life. A small example can be given. I just gave the example of an accountancy firm. So, children learning maths in the class, how they apply maths in real life. Now, that's a very tricky question because if you see children doing geometry, now, geometry is a part which many children are very scared to attempt or even learn, and they freeze. It's quite a tricky thing. Now, if we go, how can children apply geometry in real life? Simple geometry. Probably in some architectural firms or engineering firms with a very basic know-how, they should have a small internship department for school students where the children can come and apply their knowledge, and they can do certain activities in the firm or in the office part where they can apply their knowledge and they can help the existing professionals who are so good in their field. They can help them in their own small way, so the children can also gain a first-hand experience of how much how much effort, how much hard work goes into daily life of professional, be it anywhere. I'm just talking about a small example of supposingly a subject called biology. So microbiology. If a child is learning biology, then probably we have so many upcoming dairy companies. They are working with the milk products. So if we see the concept of pasteurization that is being taught in the school, so a visit to probably a dairy manufacturing unit or an internship with firms like Amul, with firms Country Delight, for especially school students, uh, that would really help them with some practicalities and know-how. But that's not only from the school institutions, but professional firms should also draft an internship curriculum, especially for school students, because a professional internship of a graduate or a postgraduate is completely different from a school child who is studying in a school and doing an internship in these kind of fields. So these are just small examples of how a child can apply their knowledge they gain in the classroom in the practical life.
Absolutely, ma'am. So these are certain examples you've already quoted wherein the students can do a lot of internships related to these subjects that they're being taught in the school. What kind of
Exactly.
internships are best for students? Which are you can you list a few if possible?
What kind of internships? Yes, definitely. You see, if I'd like to share with you my personal experience. Before entering the education industry, I was a lawyer. So, when I was
Yeah.
doing my law, I interned from the very first semester. And am I audible? Yes, am I audible? All right. So I was doing my internships from the
Hmm.
very first semester. So what was being taught in my classroom was a complete
नहीं
360-degree
नहीं
turn of what I learned in the
नहीं
courts
कुछ नहीं बताया
in
था
the practical field.
नहीं
And
इसमें
What kind
इसमें
of
कोई कमी
internships
बताकर
for
कुछ
the
काम नहीं करा था.
students I would like to enlist, and how it would help them is that
नहीं. न- है.
supposingly
लेके अब कोई
we
फायदा नहीं,
have
मैं लाइव ले रही हूँ, अभी थोड़ी देर में
Manpreet,
लेना.
am I audible to you? Mehak, I'm sorry. Yes, all right.
अभी कर रही हूँ. Yes ma'am, you are. Yes ma'am, you are audible.
All right. So, some certain examples of internships I have already given, but yes, definitely for subjects like supposingly children are learning a third language, probably Sanskrit or French or German. So, for languages like German and French, if they can get certain drafted internships in the embassies, that would help them a great deal in uh, exhibiting and professionally learning and displaying and practical usage of the language, or probably with a publication that publishes German and French books, or translates the works of German and French books. For Sanskrit languages, I would like that we have institutions like Gurukul, where the students are learning how to become professional delivering of shloks and ucharans, and delivering the knowledge of Upanishads and Smritis. So children can do small internships, probably for a month or two, in the Gurukuls to apply the Sanskrit language. I gave previous examples for the subjects like maths, science. There are plethora of fields. One is I gave just gave you a company, dairy companies for biology subject. Probably students should also gain first-hand internships in the field of agriculture also, because there is where students can gain first-hand knowledge about not even science but social sciences. You know, a lot of content, if you see in the books, is relating to the rural part of our country, villages, and children find it very difficult to relate. In especially in the cities, the children find it very difficult to relate with the rural life, and they are being explained in very small portions in the books. So probably interning or staying for a certain amount of time in the rural part of our country, in the villages, and learning from how the panchayat system is working, and learning from farmers how they go in the fields and the actualities of a rural life of a farmer. So these are certain examples. I believe that the children should gain these experiences firsthand in the school itself, so that it gives them a very, very large and dynamic view of a life that they are going to lead ahead, that would help them in making decisions in life. It would help them in clarifying the minds. Rather than the parents making decisions for the students would be able to make decisions for themselves because of the experiences that they have gained. And also, if you see this word internship for the students and the examples that I've illustrated is very, very, very synonymous to the Seven Habits curriculum, which is so popular these days. uh, Developing empathy, kindness. I'm not talking about moral values, but I'm talking about the emotional quotient of the child that we see today is so much on a pedestal, exposed and vulnerable. We have psychologists in the schools coming and counseling children. So a large portion of that would also be eradicated. The children would become really very strong emotionally once they relate to the surroundings, not only in the city, but in the country, even in the rural part of our country. So that's what my experience and my knowledge, and to the best of my beliefs, this is what I can give to you. Definitely, we need research on this, but this is what I have to say about that.
Absolutely, ma'am. Basically, it's a concept wherein, internships are generally been thought upon for a fact for students who are doing their colleges or graduation or post graduation. Never ever have anybody, come up with the fact that internships are equally important for somebody who's a student. For Because I think it's a deciding factor beforehand when you get into a career option, while you're deciding for your 11th and 12th and which field do you want to enter. I think it's equally important at that particular point of time that which part of the practicality environment that you would want to enter as well. So based on the
Definitely.
knowledges that you receive and the experience that you have, the exposure that you gain, so these are a lot to complement with what exactly you are going to move further in your life with. So
Yes.
should students be entitled to some benefits or stipends for doing an internship? What do you think on
Why
that?
not? Why not? Why not? I'm always a pro stipend person. Always have been. And during my internships, I never received stipends. And we used to work so hard in the courts, assisting the lawyers, assisting our firms. But hardly we were given stipends. Now the scenario has changed. That was like long time back, 15 years back. I'm talking about. But definitely, yes, some sort of a stipend should be given to the children, because you see, what would motivate a child to do an internship is, let's start with that question now. What would motivate a child to do an internship in such a secure environment? The child is living in such a shelled life in the city. I'm not talking about the villages. I would like to completely bifurcate my ideas. I'm not talking about the students living in the rural area. I'm talking especially about the children in the cities only. Such a shelled life they have, and they have a very very linear schedule, and a very very protected life they have. So what would motivate them to come out of the comfort zone of going to the school and coming back home and enjoying the vacations, going abroad for holidays with the parents in India, or to some other recreational place? Now, why would they leave that and do an internship in an office? So motivational factor definitely is a stipend to be given to the child, or probably a certain experience certificate, which would matter a lot, uh, which would be given some relevance for future admissions in colleges or in professional institutions. So definitely some sort of a stipend, probably general stipend that is across the country for graduates is around like 12,000 rupees initially. So for school students, I think a 5,000 or a 6,000 stipend for a month would be, a good start and a good motivation. Children earning their own pocket money for a month, that's and of course they would really learn to respect the parents more. How much they work hard, to earn that money to build such a secure and such a beautiful life for them. So yes, definitely, children would have some sort of financial literacy also. A very very important point over here I would like to elaborate is financial literacy in children should be given from an early age. So this would also form a part of that financial literacy, giving them a stipend, managing their own money. Yes, why not?
Absolutely, ma'am. So, not only this topic is all about how to implement internship at a very early age in this school itself, rather than talking about this somewhere when you are into your graduation or post graduation. Internship should be, I think, a part of your summer break or something, wherein your summer break task is to have an internship, get a real life exposure, understand the practical world, and then come back with us great minds wherein you have explored some part of the practical life wherein you know how to handle the world and people around you with different scenarios
Yes.
and different situations. And the cherry on
Hmm.
the cake will be the stipends or some sort of reward that you get while you're working there, and an acknowledgement, I would rather say, wherein you are being associated to a place where you've been working, and later at the later part of your life you can add it as a skill to your CV as well. So with
Yes.
absolutely, ma'am, thank you, Hazel ma'am, for sharing this knowledge and telling us that life is not just about books and the subjects that we're reading. It's more of a moral science as well as moral education, or the religious part of our life wherein we can explore that side of the world as well.
Definitely. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you, ma'am. So, with this note, I, Sakshi, would like to sign off with this session. Again, thank you, Hazel, ma'am, for sharing your experiences, your thought process on the topic. With this more, we promise to come back with yet another interesting topic and yet another interesting session. Thank you so very much and have a great day.
Thank you. You too.